We think that we're being sustainable and minimalist, but we're actually just thinking about ourselves. So today I wanted to talk about this challenge that I'm doing called the Rule of 5. I'm here to kind of explain a little bit about what it is, what I'm doing, and then maybe some like wider implications of what this means. What does it do for you besides just make it so you have less clothes? You see? What is the Rule of 5? Oh my god, I'm like so not prepared. Yes, okay, so it says how to do the Rule of 5. This is an article from spherelife.com, and the Rule of 5 was originally created by this substack called It's Not Sustainable, and it's an initiative from Tiffany Dark, who is like a fashion person, writes on fashion.
The article says, Tiffany has broken the year into 5 seasons, during which those who have pledged to the Rule of 5 can only buy one item, not including underwear, lingerie, or socks. The idea here is to have a fashion credit to spend in that period. If you go through one season without buying anything, you can buy 2 in the next, or borrow from the period ahead.
What is allowed to purchase, like that isn't included, is lingerie, socks, renting, or borrowing. I thought that was very interesting. Swapping, alterations, mending, and repairing. Buying secondhand or a vintage piece also counts as your Rule of 5. So the idea is to actually just cut down on the number of pieces that are in circulation. You can't necessarily just go thrifting once a week and still participate, like thrifting still counts. There was like some article that came out from the Hot and Cool Institute that said that we should limit our spending to 5 items, both secondhand and new, in order to curb climate change, basically, in order to help the fashion industry lower its emissions and lower the impact that it'll have on our earth. This challenge had an actual meaning for me. Like, it wasn't just for a personal reason, and I think that's why it has affected me and challenged me in such a way. From minimalism, for me, like the modern mainstream minimalism, it's very centered on like, you do this for you. Like, who cares if Goodwill's gonna be overflowing with your random junk? Like, it's all about you, and I just can't, that's not a good enough reason for me. This article, I will link this below. It's super comprehensive. Like, if you cannot subscribe to the Substack, obviously I would encourage you to, if you can. I think this article is awesome and really breaks it down. Where like, I wouldn't say that I have more than 100 pieces in my wardrobe at any given time, but I rotate through them really fast. So what my wardrobe looked like about a year ago is almost completely different than what it looks like now. And that's kind of the biggest piece of why I'm doing this, is I know that I have an issue with just like getting bored of clothes. They don't fit me right, like just not valuing my clothing in the way that I know I should be, especially if I'm trying to be more eco-minded and think about like the long-term effects of like constantly going through a wardrobe a year. Like, that's just crazy to me that it's gotten to the point where that's also normalized, where it's like you can just go look on TikTok or YouTube and there's a million like purging my closet videos, and then the next video is like thrifting my dream wardrobe, or like, you know, God forbid, like a Shein haul, like getting my summer wardrobe. Like, why do we need a completely new wardrobe for every freaking season? It feels like every month at this point. So I don't know, I'm just like over it. I'm so over it. It feels like such a rat race, even if you're not an influencer, even if you have like 3 followers, like there still feels like it's not a pressure, but it's a sense of like you're allowed to, like advertising is telling you to just keep consuming, and that it's okay, that you deserve it. I don't deserve it. What have I done to deserve using all of these resources? Here's like the meat of the video, I guess, because I just went on a whole rant. So I've already given the background on what it is and what the challenge is really supposed to be, and then here's how I'm kind of adapting it to fit my lifestyle and my needs right now. So number 1 is, you know, purchase only 5 items. This includes secondhand pieces and also gifts. So if you actually, I don't know if any influencers would be watching my videos, but if you are an influencer, if you receive PR from a company and you get 5 items in January and you decide to keep them all, those are your 5 items, like, because that's bringing another piece of clothing into circulation. And then of course, if you get like a gift from a family member, that would also count as your 5. I feel like I have quite a bit of really nice undergarments that I really love. So I don't foresee myself needing to buy a whole lot maybe until the summertime. So I think I'm just gonna try to kind of like try to hold off on buying undergarments for as long as I can. Or like a new like under tank top. Like this tank top I wear as a bra. I just wear a lot of tank tops as bras because I have sensory problems. And I hate having like a band here. It's so uncomfortable. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that as a personal rule. If you're someone who really needs to wear like an underwire bra, I probably wouldn't suggest including tank tops. I'm trying not to go overboard on this, but also buy like a new undershirt or new socks, like a pop of color sock, like a really nice wool sock can really revive your wardrobe. I found like picking out which pants I'm gonna wear and which socks I'm gonna wear that day are the same caliber for me. I feel like if I'm like, oh, I'm like bored with my clothes, I could just go buy like a pair of socks that I really like and that would help. 3, I made up a little, I don't know, I made up something. So everyone's heard of like, you know, reduce, reuse, recycle, that song from Disney Channel. But I have recycle, repurpose, and renew. So I kind of have like a first line of defense, I guess, is ask a friend if they want your pieces. Second is repurpose. And then third is sending to a recycling program. And then the fourth is sending it to Goodwill if it's in a good condition that like someone else could wear it. Like if you wouldn't give it to your friend, why would you give it to Goodwill? Of course, repurpose, turn it into a rag, practice sewing. I've been actually practicing making my own underwear on like old t-shirts or like scraps of clothing that I no longer like need to use. And then renew, bring new life back into an item. So you could dye it, you could embroider, you could sew it, like I said, into a different piece of clothing. I bought this top. It was secondhand, and it's actually an Old Navy sleep shirt. And it was originally like this pink, like baby pink plaid, and I really don't wear pink like ever. So I ended up bleach dyeing it. Like I literally just put it in some bleach for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And now it's like this really cute cream color with like the pink stitching is still there. And then conversely, you could also store the item away for a while and then revisit it and see how you like it in a couple of months. Because sometimes distance really does make the heart grow fonder. I've done this with a lot of my pieces and ended up being like, oh my gosh, I actually like really love this and it really fits into my style now in a way that I never imagined it would. Something Lainey Ozark has been saying a lot is like, do not purge your closet. Like if you are trying to be more mindful of your purchases, like keep clothing, because the more clothing that you keep and like store away, the less that there will be in landfills, the less that there will be to need to be recycled. Like you can just hold on to stuff, and that's 10 times more sustainable than throwing everything away and then it goes God knows where, and then buying more shit and then throwing it away again. Like it just, we think that we're being sustainable and minimalist, but we're actually just thinking about ourselves. Number 4 is replace. And then I have So this one's very unique to me and my personal life. So I've been gaining a bit of weight. I started in an office job. I got a car. I don't walk around nearly as much as I used to. My phone literally sent me a notification that was like, you're burning less calories than normal. And I was like, shut up. Because who cares? I also started Lexapro, and people tend to gain about like 5 to 10% of their body weight. So like I just have gone up like 1 to 2 pant sizes, which is like, that's normal. Like it's literally so normal. One thing that it does mean is that a lot, like pretty much all of my pants that I used to wear even like a couple months ago just don't fit anymore because they're 100% cotton, they're vintage. They do not fit me anymore, and I am not going to put myself through discomfort. And so I'm allowing myself to replace the exact same or nearly the exact same item without it counting as one of my 5. I cannot replace items that still fit me or that I want a different style, and I also have to sell or give away the first item. So this is a little bit counterintuitive because it brings other clothes into circulation. However, I just know with my weight gain, like I'm not going to put myself through discomfort just to complete this challenge. So hopefully I'll only have to do this with 1 to 2 items, hopefully no items. Might have to start looking towards clothes that can adapt more to different weights and like trying to be mindful of that as well. I'm going to Italy in around my birthday, so I'm allowing myself to buy 1 item in the month of June. So instead of having the 5 like equal periods, I have 4 periods of 3 months, which is gonna be literally so hard for me. And then I have June as 1 month. So I'm gonna save my purchase for when I'm in Italy to buy myself something to remember the trip by. But how has it helped me just like 1 month in? So I bought my first item a few weeks ago, and I'm actually wearing them right now. So I'll show you guys. Woo! Oh my God, I need to stretch. I went running for the first time in like years a couple days ago, and I feel like I'm gonna, like, my body has not recovered. I bought these jeans that I've been wanting forever and ever, and I got them. I was so excited, and I put them on, and I'm like, cool, like it's a pair of jeans. That's awesome. I have been so like convinced that once I get a certain item, like my wardrobe's gonna feel complete. I'll feel complete because that's what advertising tells us. It's like I put them on and I was like, these are great, these are awesome, I'm gonna love wearing them. But this doesn't change anything about who I am. It doesn't make me a better person. It doesn't make my self-worth any higher. They're just pants. I have 2 pretty fancy, like nice work events. I am graduating college and I have a graduation party. And I'm also going to Italy. So many things where normally I would be like, oh, I need to get a dress for this. I need to buy a bunch of new clothes for Italy. I need to get this and that. And I'm literally sitting here and I'm like, well, I only have 2 items until all of these events are over. And I have so many dresses that I just like have never had the chance to wear. Like I haven't had the right event. So why would I buy new ones? Like, and also I think about events that I've been to in the past that were really important to me. I don't think I even remember what I wore to them unless I have a photo or unless it was like a wedding. I don't really remember what I wore to like a friend's birthday party. I can just wear what I have here. And now I can just focus on being excited for this and being happy that I get to go to these events. Like, okay, the final thing I was gonna talk about is I also went to the thrift store with my partner to look for some home goods. If you see that little basket, I actually got that and I'm very happy with it. I was itching to look at the clothes. And I look at them and I'm like it's not that good. The thrift store is almost like a lottery in a sense. Like it's almost like has the same thrill of gambling where you go in and you don't know if you're gonna find something good or like what could be in this rack. Like I didn't check this rack. Maybe there's something amazing that's gonna just like pop out at me. And then you don't find anything, and then you end up going home with like a sweater that you like kind of like, but like it's not really that good, and you wear it like 3 times and you're like, oh my gosh, it has like a hole in it. You know, I love the thrift store, but I think it's much more sustainable than buying things. I want to be mindful about that too, because just because it's secondhand, Alexa was saying this in her video about sustainability. Alexa Sunshine 83 was talking about this. Just because it's secondhand doesn't make it not overconsumption. It just means that your environmental impact is slightly lower than the environmental impact of somebody buying a Shein haul. So how can I integrate this into my life? Like, you cannot just take away something from your lizard brain and expect your lizard brain to be like, cool, great. No, because buying clothes was a source of dopamine. It made me so happy, fleetingly happy, but it brought me happiness. And you need something to replace that behavior. Will either go back to that behavior, or it's going to find a different behavior that's unhealthy to indulge in. So what's important if you're going to take on a challenge like this, or a no buy month, whatever, what is going to bring you sustained pleasure that isn't buying things? Like, who are you when you aren't buying, when you aren't a consumer? Who are you as a creator of things? And so I've taken up knitting. It's been a lot of fun. I'm using a lot of yarn that like my sister had, that my mom had. So, you know, I'm not buying as much new yarn, which is great. I love that. I've been hiking so much more. I've been working on my meditation practice. I've been cooking, baking, and these things still mostly include purchasing things. But there's kind of a removal of that where, you know, when you buy a stick of butter to make cookies, you aren't just like, great, I have a stick of butter, awesome. You have to do something with your body, with your brain, in order to get the thing that you want. And I think having that kind of something physical you can do with your body is so important. Because you're just gonna end up scrolling through TikTok and looking at all the outfits that you wish you could have and buy. What is that going to be for you? And, you know, for me, it's knitting, cooking, hiking. But for you, it might be exercising more. It might be, I don't know, making art, doing collages, just like, I don't know, it could be anything. I think that this is a means to complete that end. It's about sustainability, and it's about buying less, but I'm not thinking of this in a deficit where it's like, well, the goal is to not have as much. And what you can gain with the time and the energy and the mental space you have back is just creating things and participating in that part of yourself. So I'm just gonna leave with that, is when you're not consuming, when you're not buying clothes, who are you? What do you like to do? Rediscover that. Build a new relationship with yourself and your sense of self that is beyond capitalism, you know? Yeah, okay, that's everything. Bye.